Okay, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I need to carefully move this console cable over to the switch and plug it into this router here. Now, console. Okay, let's turn this on. All right, this is an 1841, so it's very quiet. One of the things I like about the 1841s and 4. You know, we never changed the console speed back to the other one here. Okay, now I turned it on before we got into putty, so you know, we're kind of stuck in the phase of it's showing text and waiting for the next text to show up. So, you know, we're kind of like in the void here. So we'll just be careful and patient. No need to be careful, but you get the idea. It's patient. Okay, there we go. All right, and now we are decompressing our image. Now, when I say things like this, like decompressing the image, it gives you an understanding of how important it was for me to go through the lessons we've gone to up to this point, okay? Because you not having that sense of what I really mean, okay, gives it a sense of necessity on why we took the time to do those things and discuss those things in that manner, all right? So I hope you realize the methods to my madness in that aspect. Okay, now, the thing about this is, and I want you to picture this, okay? And eventually I'm going to get a drawing pad so I can draw this on the screen, but we have the internet. That is one network, okay? That internet is split to the home network, okay, via a LAN segment and a wireless segment, okay, produced by the Verizon, which is my ISP, by the way, the Verizon router that they supply, that they supply to me, or, you know, wherever I'm at. But I have no idea why I said that, but nonetheless, okay, you gotta bear with me. It's midnight. Okay, it's 12 o'clock in the morning here. Okay, so now within that home network, okay, I have a Ethernet cable coming from the Verizon wireless router, okay, which is still a LAN router as well, connected into a Cisco switch, okay, all right, carried on, isolated from one switch to another to a port, okay, meaning that I have contained it where it is like the wireless router is directly connected to one of my Cisco routers, which is this one here, okay? Now, because of that, all right, there's two networks in this house, okay? My network, the Verizon network, okay? And that's inside my house, and then outside that house will be the internet, okay? All right, now, I have DHCP on this router, okay? No, hey, see, commands are the same, right? As a switch. Now, how this happens, I have no idea, and I have to go back and really take a look and see what's going on. Somehow, my DHCP traffic, which should have never happened, will carry off over into the wireless network and give out wireless devices connected to that wireless network, DHCP scopes from my router, this home R1 router, which should never happen. How it happens, I have no idea. So what we're going to do, because since I turned this on, I can just see, people having issues with this already. So I'm going to go ahead and shut that down and then shut this down. Okay? Do show IP interface brief. Okay? And now we are administratively shut down. Our protocol shut down. No DHCP service is going to be sitting out. All right? And if you're curious, the 1.0 network is the Verizon network. Okay? Now, I can understand. Actually, I can't understand it. It should never happen. Okay? There's nothing I can say that how this happened is beyond me. But the other person staying here, their wireless network connected to the wireless Verizon router was pulling 5.5 addresses. Boggled my mind. Okay? Boggled my mind. I was like, how is it even possible? All right? And it's not something I even looked at because I'm like, why would I ever think that would happen? Because it's impossible, right? Now, how does this happen? This shows you right now that things that are supposed to work the way they should work, okay, don't work because of things like Linksys and Verizon routers and Comcast routers and things like that, okay? They're not following the standards, okay? Whether this is a software bug, okay, or them just blatantly ignoring, okay, what the standards should be, okay? All right, whether they're spying on you or they have, backdoors or loopholes, okay? So what I'm trying to tell you is if you have one of these devices, and you will find them in our field all the time. Okay, all right. A company goes out there. Okay, now let me clarify that for a second. Okay, when you're an engineer and you're working for a company, okay, and you're actually working on the company's equipment, okay, all right, these possibilities are not going to be at the norm. But if you're a consultant, okay, and you're going and you're just consulting is such a different career path because you're either an engineer sitting there doing your stuff for the company and you're doing it for internal company equipment, or you're working for a company that actually is contracted out to other companies, okay. All right, but the premise is the same. They have an ISP, they have a DMARC, okay. It is tied in to the actual Cisco router, Juniper router, whatever, okay. All right, these are companies that this is your job, okay. But as a consultant, you are not a jack of all trades. You still have expertise, okay. But you're running across companies like, let's say, a barbershop, okay, all right, and they're not going to go out and buy, okay, a Cisco device. They're going to actually go and get home service from their ISP like Verizon, okay, and use that particular router, okay. So now you are utilizing this device as your main connection between the ISP and the internal network, and it's not a managed switch, okay? So that means you don't have the control, nor will that device give you the features that you normally would be able to manage and be very powerful with. In fact, something like port forwarding, guys, I can't tell you how horrible these devices are. And I'm even talking about the Linksys devices you get out of Best Buy for $50. Okay? They're just really horrible. Okay? Today, the port forwarding works. You set it up. Tomorrow, it doesn't work. Okay? All right? So what I like to do is I like to do a DMZ on those devices. And what I would do is send all the outside traffic going to my router or my ASA firewall. Okay, and that bypasses the router altogether, and I get to control it by that bypass. Okay, so that wireless device somehow, some way, took my IP, a DHCP scope, hopped it over a 5.0 network over to a 1.0 network, and distributed that traffic out on the 1 dot network and gave it 5.x IP addresses. And that should never be. Okay? And that tells you that Verizon router device has got to go. There's security risks. There's security issues with it. There's loopholes. There's poor software. It's not doing the proper job that it's supposed to be as far as standards are concerned. Okay? All right? So, that's why we shut down these interfaces, because I don't want to knock everybody else out because of my DHCP scope, which should never be the case in the first place. But nonetheless, all right, why are we here? All right, show flash. All right, and we're going to delete flash. Okay, what is this? This is 12.4.24. Okay. Okay, now, reload. Okay, it doesn't matter if I save the configurations or not. Okay, first of all, oh yeah, I shut down the interfaces. I was like, why is it even asking me that again? Okay, so both scenarios with the routers and the switch, I did make a change. All right, and my change was to shut down interfaces. And look at what we have here. Okay, remember our process. If we cannot find a iOS to boot from in Flash, we go to Ramen mode. So now, okay, all right. Going to Cisco documentation. Okay, now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to change our IP address scheme here. So, where are you? Where are you? All right, and we are going to the adapters, and we're looking for the Ethernet, not that one. Or is it that one? Okay, first of all, let's find out where we're plugged in here and make some changes here. I'm gonna move this particular port over to here. So we're on the same VLAN, because I know VLANs are different. And where is my... Okay, we're going to move this one over to here, to 1. Okay? All right. And go back to here. And of course, you're not going to see anything because we're not in a running config. Okay? However, what is going on here? That just turned... And that just turned, but I don't see any... Okay, now wait a minute, let's take a look at these lights here. There is no lights on. Am I using the right cable? No. There we go. Okay. All right. That is what I was looking for. So let's go over here. And remember I said we had to have IP reachability. So I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to say 192.168.2.5. Okay? No default gateway needed. All right. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this right here. Okay, I don't know why they did it that way. First of all right, let's just copy this. All right, and we're going to go into Notepad. All right. Copy. Boom. 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 Okay, so these are the commands. All right, and I'm going to change this 168.2.10. Set them as correct. Default gateway 168.2. Even though we don't have one set, I'm just gonna set it to 5, which is my IP address. Okay, we did not hit OK here. Okay, 2.5. Okay, all right. That's 2.5. Okay, so remember my PC is 2.5. So my TFTP server is going to be 2.5. Okay, and now I need to go find out what file I'm going to actually grab by going back to here. Go here, here, oops, and OS, Cisco, iOS, and router, and 1841. Okay, and this was the actual image here. Copy. And we okay, that's the actual file name. Okay, and this is not a set command here. This is just at the command prompt TFTP download. Okay, all right. Now, this is misleading because set needs to be set in front of each one of these. I don't know why they wrote it this way, and it's things like this is what confuses people. Okay, it's not accurate. All right, and you know, I'm sorry to see stuff like this. Okay, because it's just misleading. All right, but this person isn't providing a solution. He's actually answer the question. So nonetheless, all right. So now let's go back. First of all, we are going to do this. Oops. Line by line. Oh, okay. All right, let's go see. Did I get this wrong? Or am I the one that's incorrect? Okay, thinking that this is a Juniper device and using the set command. Um, so let us not use the set command and oh, my bad. My bad. Now you're starting to understand. No up arrow key. Why that's wrong. Okay, so we need to find the right terminology here. Do, 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 do. It looks just. Wait a minute. Okay, so that has colons on it. Is it colons or equal signs? It's equal signs. See, what is that set command there for? That's blowing me because I've never. It took the IP address. Copy. Okay, took that. Default gateway. Took that. Took that. And okay. All right. Now we have to go find ourselves a TFTP server. Okay, I know SolarWinds does work. It has been a long time since I've used it, so I do not know if they've had a newer version and it just is bad now. So hold on. Okay. I'm not sure this will work. Let's find out. Continue without adding. Download. Save. No. I gotta get that off here. Wow. Next. Okay, so right now we are downloading and installing a TFTP server, and then we gotta set it up. Okay. All right. Now TFTP works on port 69. There's another port number that you got to remember. Okay, and there it is. All right. File configure. Okay, and our working directory. Cisco. iOS. Routers. 1841. Say okay. That's the working directory. Okay. And everything is already set up in our device. Okay. And remember, it is the first valid working port, which is F800. Okay, that's going to initialize, give it this IP address, okay, give it the subnet mask and all this stuff, and start downloading. Okay, and the command we're going to use is this one right here. And we'll keep this in place to see if it actually connects to the server. All right. It shows you all the information, okay, that we're using. All right, even the file name. All right, and do you want to proceed? Yes. And I do not see it connecting. So, you know what we're going to do. First of all, go here, configure. We are going to turn off the firewall. Okay? Off, off. Okay. Try this again. Okay, now, while we're doing that, oh, wait, hold on. It's trying to access the file. Which is a good thing. There it goes. There it goes. Okay. All right. So, Windows Firewall is going to always cause you problems. So, you know, just turn your firewalls off when you're trying to do things like this, okay? Because what you're doing is you're trying to access Windows as a server, and, you know, that's why Windows Firewall is there, okay? All right, well, I was doing that. I'm going to some orange juice here. Be right back. Okay. So, SolarWinds TFTP server still works just fine. And to be honest, this is the only TFTP server back in the day, and I tried lots of them, that I ever got to work successfully. Okay? And I can't tell you that TFTP protocol can be finicky, man. Okay? And I'm not kidding. Alright? The cool thing is you can turn a device on, like a router, and turn and make it into a file transfer server, okay, and connect to that server, all right? To connect to that router via the command FTP, SCP, TFTP. I can't remember which one. I think it's SCP is the only one you can use, but I might be wrong. Okay, again, you never can know, especially with the Nexus platform out here, the XR, iOS, and all that stuff. You never know what it can do. That's why documentation is golden for things like this. Okay. Meaning that even in the worst screw ups, it's very hard to brick these things, okay, to the point where they're unusable unless there is a sense of lack of knowledge on how to bring it back to life, okay? Meaning that I bought things off of eBay and it had worked and I brought them back to life, okay? All right? Now, this port is 10100, so that means we're running at 100 megabits per second, and as you can see, it's still taking its sweet time. And I'm assuming it's 100 megabits per second. I really don't know. And in fact, I don't even know if there's a way of changing the speed. in one of the in one of the commands. I was going to say set commands, but they're not set commands. Now, okay, set commands I'm very used to in Juniper. Okay, so it's very common, okay, to cross-reference one platform over to the other. Very common, okay? Like with um, I can't remember the name. It's ridiculous. Um, like certain firewalls, you have to save the configs and then, or save the changes and then apply them. If you don't apply them, they're saved, but they're not applied. The rules are not sent over to the firewall. Okay? All right? So, where another platform, you could just hit apply, okay, and no save is needed. You can just apply. Okay? Or, like, like ASAs, you could just type in command, okay, that thing is applied automatically to the running config, all right, and the only reason to save it is to change it over to the starter config, so it'll be the same when it reboots. So every platform, every vendor has their ups and downs and their little ways of getting things handled. I can't remember the name of that firewall. I'm having a serious brain cramp here. Checkpoint. I can't believe it. All right. I mean, it's just like right at the tip of my tongue. I just couldn't pull it out. Okay, regardless of who or what vendor you're using, okay, all right, some people in our industry, in our field, will only work on Cisco devices, okay, all right? We call these people Cisco boys, okay, all right? You give me a Palo Alto, a Checkpoint, a ASA, a Firepower, I don't care, okay? All right? I am what you call a network boy, all right? Okay? Routers, switches, firewalls, all right? It's what I do. My expertise is routing and switching. My second expertise is firewalls. Now, you'll have some people, all right, that when you get to that organization, they have been there for years, okay? All right? Your expertise could surpass that person, but that person's been doing this for years, okay? So, you go in and you make your changes on your Palo Altos, on your checkpoints, on your ASAs, on your firepowers, whatever, okay? All right, even your Nexus platforms, doesn't matter. And that individual will go back and change every change you make, okay? Now, from my perspective, I make the changes, okay? It works, I'm good. If you want to take your time and go back and make every change I make, okay, all right, and move things around and move this firewall above this firewall, move this rule over here and here, okay, and not teach me your method or why you're doing this, hey, that's on you, okay? What I'm trying to tell you is these types of behaviors, okay, all right, are, for whatever reason, should not be focused on, all right? And it's very hard as an individual because we like to take things personally. Like, why, why does everything that I do, you have to go back, okay? And you start having animosity towards this person. In reality, I mean, it doesn't affect you at all. Your manager's not complaining, okay? All right? He can easily take the time to explain to me why he's doing these changes, okay? So I could try to accommodate his style and I adapt, but that's not what he's doing, okay? So, I could care less. and I'm serious because it's like, to me, it's childish. But you see it on a regular basis. Now, if you're in this person's world, okay, and you're doing changes to help him out, and that's what he wants to do, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay, you're not doing the change wrong. You're not being reprimanded. Okay. Oh, we're still validating the actual download. Um, but you come across these things, and I've seen it time and time again that this causes problems in the workplace that does not that's unnecessary because you took it personally. All right, I'm just telling you that there's a lot of petty stuff in this field, okay, and that will be one of them. So, just ask yourself: is it worth the fight? Okay, does it affect your everyday day? Okay, and some of you people, you just can't help but to respond. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you right now, in my life of 50 years on this planet, there has been two separate occasions at an employer, okay, all right, was not networking, by the way, that I have been said this exact phrase. Come on, Kyle, man to man, it's just you and I here. Just tell me how you feel. And I told him how I felt, and I lost my job the very next day. And since then, I never tell anybody how I feel. Okay? All right? Because that man to man, tell me the truth, that is just a setup. And, you don't see it as that, but both times I got fired, I don't do it again. Because you have to understand, most of the time, it ain't really that serious as you're taking it. But if you are on a mission and passion is there, that seriousness from your perspective is passion, where for somebody else's perspective it's fear, it's aggression, it's violent in some ways because of how you approached it, the words you used, your tone of voice, and the emotions that you showed. Okay? All right? This subject alone can go for hours on end. Okay? All right? But only 2 times I made that mistake, and now I just don't engage in it. Okay? Because once that's said to me, that is an open door to a to a serious resume updating event. Okay? All right, that's the best way I can explain it. Okay, all system sections are written. Okay. Operation completed successfully. That's good. Okay. Format of flash is complete. That's also good. Okay. And we are still waiting for this thing to come back to a prompt. Now, while we're waiting for that, wait a minute. Where the hell was it? Okay. Oh, I guess I went like really past it. Okay, never mind. You know what? Forget it. There's no point. What I was going to show you in this instructions, like the switch, is going to have a load command. But we're not going to do that. All we're going to do is say reset. And it reboots. Not reload, but reset. And what we're waiting for is to have the iOS decompressed. And we know we are good. Remember that void we were stuck in? Yeah, this is our void we were stuck in last time. There it goes. All right, and we are good. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have now done this on a switch, and now we've done this on a router. Okay, both times you saw me use Cisco documentation to perform these tasks. As many times as I've done this on a router, okay, I told you, it doesn't matter how many times, because I don't do this regularly, okay? It's not something I would come across often, all right? I still got mixed up with the set command, okay, which wasn't a command at all, okay? It was just to show you the current parameters that was actually set on there, all right? And you're going to see all those anyway when you do the TFTP download command, all right? So, not necessary, all right? So, nonetheless, we are successful. We brought our bricked device back to life. And, as always, be strong, be determined, be Cisco.